Luce Irigaray's In the Beginning She Was is a profound exploration of the silenced feminine in Western philosophical and theological traditions. With her distinctive blend of philosophy, psychoanalysis, and feminist theory, Irigaray critiques the fundative narratives that have historically excluded women's subjectivity and divinity. At the heart of the book lies her endeavor to rewrite the cultural myths that have been constructed on a patriarchal foundation, privileging male authority and relegating the feminine to a position of subservience or absence. Irigaray reclaims the feminine as a generative force, situating it at the center of philosophical and theological discourse, as both origin and continuity, challenging the entrenched dualisms that separate spirit and body, subject and object, and male and female. Irigaray begins by interrogating the ways in which traditional Western philosophy has constructed and perpetuated a narrative of creation and existence that excludes the feminine principle. Drawing on key figures such as Plato, Aristotle, and the Christian theological canon, she critiques the masculinization of transcendence and the reduction of the feminine to a passive or derivative role. For Irigaray, this historical erasure of the feminine is not merely a symbolic omission, but a structural one, impacting the ways in which societies perceive gender, spirituality, and relationality. She argues that the suppression of the feminine has led to a fragmented understanding of existence, where the connection between the material and the spiritual has been severed. In this context, Irigaray reintroduces the concept of she as the primordial creative force, emphasizing the importance of reimagining a divinity that encompasses the feminine. Central to Irigaray's argument is her focus on the maternal as a metaphor for origin and continuity. She challenges the traditional theological image of a paternal God who creates the world ex nihilo, proposing instead a vision of creation rooted in gestation, birth, and nurturance, qualities that have historically been associated with the feminine. Irigaray's invocation of the maternal is not limited to biological motherhood, but extends to a broader philosophical and spiritual principle. She reclaims the maternal as a space of becoming, emphasizing its potential to foster relationality, care, and interconnectedness. This perspective disrupts the hierarchical frameworks that have traditionally dominated Western thought, proposing instead a relational ontology, in which the feminine is central to both individual and collective existence. The language of the text is deeply poetic and evocative, reflecting Irigaray's belief in the necessity of a new language to articulate feminine subjectivity and divinity. She critiques the masculinist language of Western philosophy, which she argues has been designed to exclude or marginalize the feminine. By adopting a lyrical and open-ended style, Irigaray invites readers to engage with her ideas in a way that transcends the rigid binaries of traditional philosophical discourse. Her writing embodies the very principles she advocates, creating a space for the feminine to emerge as a force of creativity and transformation. This emphasis on language is not merely aesthetic, but deeply political, as it reflects her broader commitment to dismantling the structures of thought that perpetuate gender inequality. Another significant aspect of the book is Irigaray's engagement with the concept of relationality. She argues that the feminine, as both a philosophical and theological principle, offers a model for understanding human relationships and community, in contrast to the atomistic individualism that characterizes much of Western thought. Irigaray proposes a relational ontology in which individuals are understood as interconnected and interdependent. This perspective challenges the hierarchical structures that have historically defined gender relations, offering instead a vision of equality and mutual recognition. For Irigaray, the feminine is not merely a category of identity, but a principle of relationality that can transform the ways in which individuals and societies interact. Irigaray's critique extends to the broader cultural and social implications of patriarchal thought. She examines how the suppression of the feminine has shaped not only theology and philosophy, but also politics, ethics, and everyday life. In her view, the marginalization of the feminine has led to a culture of domination and exploitation, in which the relational and nurturing aspects of existence are devalued. By reintroducing the feminine as a central principle, Irigaray seeks to create a more balanced and equitable society. Her vision is not one of replacing patriarchy with matriarchy, but of fostering a genuine dialogue between the masculine and the feminine, allowing for the emergence of a new cultural paradigm that values both equally. One of the most challenging and thought-provoking aspects of the book is its engagement with the question of divinity. Irigaray does not merely critique the patriarchal construction of God, but reimagines divinity itself. In a way that encompasses the feminine, she introduces the idea of she as a divine principle, challenging the exclusive association of transcendence with masculinity. This reimagining of divinity is not intended to create a new dogma, but to open up possibilities for thinking about the divine in ways that are inclusive and transformative. For Irigaray, divinity is not a fixed or static concept, but a dynamic force that is intimately connected to human existence and relationality.